Hi, welcome to All Around You Hub.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to tell you about a biographical war drama called Jarhead. Beware, spoilers ahead. Let's get into it.
Without my rifle, I am nothing. Say it, you.
Without my rifle, I am nothing.
Drill Instructor Fitch welcomes the new recruits to the USMC barracks. He declares that there are no blacks or whites there. Everyone is now green. He asks Swafford if his father had served, to which the soldier replies,
Sir, yes, sir!
Then the instructor asks if he has a girlfriend.
Sir, yes, sir! Yes, again, mother. Jody's banging her right now.
Swafford realizes that joining the Marine Corps was a bad decision.
What the f are you even doing here?
Sir, I got lost on the way to college, sir!
The recruits are then sent to the Marine Corps base camp, Pendleton. The senior officer assigns Swafford to the 2nd platoon so that he can improve their performance.
It's full of retards and f***ups. Maybe you can elevate the sons of just a little.
The platoon welcomes the newcomers by attacking him with a red-hot branding iron. He loses consciousness. When he wakes up, he discovers that there is no brand on his leg. Troy says they scared him by switching out the brand.
You want a brand? You gotta earn it.
He still regrets his decision to enlist in the US Army, so he fakes poisoning by taking laxatives. He remembers his life. His father was always hard with his son and wasn't really involved in raising his son. His sister suffered from mental problems and his mother was extremely depressed. The only bright thing in his entire life was Christina, his girlfriend. She promised Swafford to wait for him at all cost.
I'll write you every day.
But his reflections are interrupted by Staff Sergeant Sykes of the Marine Corps, who offers him the opportunity to join a regiment of scout snipers.
I heard it took 6 guys to pull a little branding trick on you. And your file says that you ain't too dumb either, so you better get unsick most motherfucking Ricky Tick, because there's a chance that you could be a scout sniper.
Swafford is not too happy about this opportunity and tries to wriggle out. So Sykes goes to Trick. He asks if Swafford can play any musical instrument, to which the latter says yes. And Sykes suggests visiting the bugle tryout tomorrow. Swafford arrives at the appointed time,
Private Swafford reporting for bugle tryout.
but it turns out to be a sniper class, and the guy makes a fool of himself.
Private Swafford here is going to play reveille for us.
Oh, I have a bugle. You better play it with your mouth.
What? I said play it with your goddamn mouth.
After the public humiliation, Swafford proudly declares that he wants to stay.
You still here? Yes, yes, Sergeant. Yes, what?
Yes, I am still here, Staff Sergeant.
The training begins, and a few days later, Swafford finds his calling there. He begins to dream about seeing splatters of blood caused by his shots. One day, he witnesses a tragedy. One of the recruits loses his nerve during the exercises, where the platoon has to crawl under barbed wire during the machine gun fire. The recruit panics, stands up, and gets a bullet in his head.
I told you to keep your fucking head down. If you listen to me, you will still be fucking alive right now. Stupid.
Swafford completes his infantry sniper training together with 7 other soldiers. Sykes makes Swafford the shooter, and Troy is appointed to be a spotter.
Spot it. Shoot it. Spot it. Shoot it.
Troy looks enviously at Swafford because he wants to be a shooter himself. Sykes teaches them how to say the sniper code.
Without my rifle, I am nothing.
Without my rifle, I am nothing.
At just about that time, Saddam Hussein invades Kuwait. After watching news report, Troy excitedly says,
We're going to f***ing war.
the US is in this conflict. On the same day, the Marines watch a movie about the Vietnam War. All the soldiers are thrilled seeing military actions on the screen, expecting a bunch of a cruel, bloody mess. The session is suddenly interrupted, and the announcer says that their recruits are to report to the company area. All the Marines are extremely happy that they will finally have a chance to put their skills to work. The US begins to deploy troops for Operation Desert Shield. Lieutenant Colonel Kaczynski briefs the Marines and says that Iraqis use Nerf gas. He shows them a picture of an Iranian kid suffered from that very gas. That fact demoralizes soldiers a little. Kaczynski says that killing Iraqis is not their mission. They're supposed to protect oil fields in Saudi Arabia.
And gentlemen, I'm talking a lot of oil.
On the way to their camp, Kruger demonstrates his ability to think critically. He's clearly one of the smartest soldiers among them.
They got their fat hands in our bowl. Motherfuckers drink it like it's beer. That's why we're here to protect their profit. He's full of shit. Who do you think gave Saddam all his weapons? We did.
Politics.
The 2nd platoon settles in its new camp. While unpacking, Swafford looks at his girlfriend's picture.
Oh, she's hot. Yours?
Yes.
You better shoot yourself in the foot and get her taken home because
Jody's gonna be all over her! Come on, I drink a gallon of her pee just to see where it came from.
Cortez calms them down by showing them a picture of his pregnant wife.
Oh, no!
Please don't love me.
Sykes storms the tent and orders the fighters to put on chemical protective gear for a run.
55 seconds. You're all dead. And since you're all dead, I guess you wouldn't mind taking a little run in these suits.
Their everyday routine has begun. They gather for formation 6 times a day. The soldier hydrate, patrol the empty desert, and then dehydrate when ordered. They throw hand grenades into nowhere, navigate imaginary minefields, fire at nothing, and hydrate some more. After this useless routine, they keep watch at night. The price of crude oil has nearly doubled, and President Bush sends in more troops, and the number of troops increases to hundreds of thousands of soldiers. It has been 62 days since the arrival of the 2nd Platoon. Out of boredom, they try to entertain themselves by arranging scorpion fights for money. Swafford tells us the main rules of avoiding boredom.
Suggested techniques for the Marine to use in the avoidance of boredom and loneliness. Masturbation. Rereading of letters from unfaithful wives and girlfriends. Cleaning your rifle. Further masturbation.
A wall of shame is installed in the camp, where the soldiers put photos of the girlfriends and wives who failed to wait for them to come back from service. Swafford begins to worry about his girlfriend.
Is she up there yet?
What?
Don't worry, she will be. She'll be right there. She's gonna look beautiful up there.
One day, journalists come to their camp. Sykes gives instructions on what to say and what not to say.
You telling us what we can and can't say to the press? That's un-American.
Yeah, what about freedom of speech, the Constitution?
No, you signed a contract. You don't have any rights.
Journalists are interviewing the soldiers. Answering the question about who's waiting for him at home, Swafford mentions his girlfriend, Christina. She's the only person he cares about. Sykes tells the reporters how comfortable NBC suits are. To prove this, he makes the soldiers put them on and play a football game.
It's 112 degrees.
Then I guess you won't be needing your parkers, will you?
The soldiers start playing despite the infernal heat. Exhausted by Sykes' demonstration, the Marines riot by stripping off all their clothes, demonstratively swearing with all their might. Sykes quickly leads the reporters away.
Let's go check out the artillery and everything.
That night, Sykes forces the soldiers to build the pyramid out of sandbags and laugh to punish them for their behavior.
I don't hear you laughing now.
He announces that they will have a 2-day search in the rear and orders to take the pyramids down. In the evening, Swafford gets his dog tags. He's upset that they don't say no preference. He also receives a letter from Christina in which she tells him that she met a guy named Carl. He's the night manager at the hotel where she works.
The night manager at her hotel, and she says he's a good listener? Oh, man!
The soldiers mock him, saying that Christina will soon make her appearance on the Wall of Shame. Kruger encourages Swafford and tells him to call her before jumping to conclusions. For several days, Swafford goes about in complete despair, constantly thinking about what the letter said. The next day he calls Christina. The conversation is going well until he interrupts her and asks if she knows Carl well. She then pretends there's a connection problem and hangs up, which unsettles Swafford even more. He now has nightmares about his girlfriend. As if that isn't enough, Detman receives a tape from his wife and invites the guys to watch it. It's supposed to be the Deer Hunter movie. However, there's no movie on the tape, but a video of his wife cheating on him with their neighbor. The tape turns out to be his wife's revenge for his past infidelities. Troy calms Detman down and leads him away. Several Marines turn on the video to continue watching, but Troy turns back and stops them. He tells everyone to mind their business.
What are you doing?
I'm waiting for you to leave so I can watch it again.
Why do you want to watch it again?
I want to see what it's like to watch somebody else your girlfriend.
Swafford is almost crying after this words. The 2nd Platoon patrols the desert on day 122. The number of troops has increased to 390,000. The situation with Christina stuck in Swafford's head. He even thinks he's going crazy. In the evening, he visits the smartest man alive who serves as a signalman.
I studied classics at Dartmouth.
And buys a canister of alcohol for $40. He returns to his platoon for the Christmas Eve party. Swafford asks O'Donnell to take his watch for money. The soldiers are having a great time, but O'Donnell accidentally starts a fire while making dinner. The fire gets out of control and spreads to the flare crate. The soldiers think that an attack has started. They run out of the tent with their weapons and see what happened.
Those are my sausages.
The next day, naked Swafford vomits in front of the platoon under the scorching sun.
So do you have all of that unauthorized beverage out of your system?
Sykes demotes Swafford to private for leaving the watch and assigns him to dispose of waste from the outdoor toilets. And I don't think Mysterio is enjoying his duties now. He is completely disappointed in his military service. The next day, Swafford and O'Donnell work on assembling and disassembling rifles. Swafford is still mad at O'Donnell.
What would you say if I told you I was gonna kill you for f***ing me over like that?
I already told you it was an accident.
Accident, like when this trigger slips.
And he admits that he wants to know what it's like to kill a man. He loads the rifle and aims it at O'Donnell's head. Cortez leaves the tent saying that he doesn't see anything.
What do you think, Cortez? You think I'll accidentally kill your homeboy from boot camp?
Sure, you kill him. Accidents happen.
You don't see right?
I don't see. This ain't even my tent. I ain't even here, Swaff.
Swafford yells at him, making him recite the sniper code.
Without my rifle, I am nothing. Say it. Without my rifle, I am nothing.
Then he goes insane and orders O'Donnell to shoot him.
Tell me, you fucking pussy!
Realizing what he has done, he begins to cry. While on patrol in the desert, Troy reprimands Swafford for what happened between him and O'Donnell and makes him apologize. Swafford begins to apologize, but is interrupted by the sudden sound of gunshots. When barely distinguishable silhouettes appear on the horizon, the Marines form a line. Swafford greets people in Arabic and approaches them for negotiations. The negotiations seem to be tense.
Hey, don't fucking touch the rifle!
Having told him that someone shot their camels, they leave. On their way back, the platoon cheerfully discusses what happened, and the soldiers are surprised that Swafford speaks Arabic. It turns out that Fowler is who killed the camels, and he's really proud of it. He did it just for fun, being tired of boring routine. All the guys look at him with judgment. Everyone understands that it was because of him that they were just about to kill 9 civilians for no reason. Fowler notices a civilian girl sitting in a passing-by car and starts to show her his intelligence.
Hey, teach me some of that Arabic. What's come suck my
Sykes informs the 2nd Platoon that they are now doing Operation Desert Storm. Hussein has finally officially announced Iraq's invasion of Kuwait, and there will be casualties. The soldiers are excited about the chance to use their skills in the real battle. The enemy uses toxic gas, so the soldiers are given atropine pills and injection syringes. All the soldiers have to sign a waiver because the pills aren't proven yet. Kruger is not going to take the pills and refuses to sign the waiver.
I'll take the fucking pills, and a year later, my will turn inside out and start fucking talking to him.
Sykes explains what happens after being poisoned by that gas and forces everyone to sign the waiver and take the pills. But Kruger spits it out when Sykes is not looking. Later, they start digging sleeping holes for themselves. At this moment, American fighters fly over them. Troy begins to argue that what they're doing is pointless. After all, while they're busy digging around, the war is moving a mile away from them thanks to the Air Force.
By the time we have our rifles dialed, the war's gonna be a mile down the road.
Swafford wants to sort it out with his spotter. Without letting him finish, Sykes takes Swafford aside and says that Troy will be kicked out of the army as soon as he returns to the U.S. because he lied about his criminal record on his application. He orders Swafford to keep an eye on Troy. Swafford tells Troy that he could have told him about this secret. Troy advises him to mind his own business. In the evening, soldiers receive mail. Christina sends back the t-shirt, which Swafford left for her.
She sent it back, man. Sent it back like you send back a ring.
She also attaches a note saying,
I'll always love you, Christina.
Swafford is upset by this package, but he focuses on Troy because he needs support more than anyone else there. All the soldier in the tent starts to cheer him up. They grab Troy and brand him with the Marine sign.
You earned it, man.
The next day, the 2nd Platoon is under fire from the enemy artillery. While everyone is hiding in the shelter, Swafford keeps standing, enjoying the beginning of the first battle so welcomed and so desired.
Are you alright?
I pissed myself.
Sykes tells him to get the batteries for the signalmen. He runs through the artillery fire, brings the batteries, but they turn out to be dead. The Iraqis are retreating. The Marines advance in their direction. In the distance, they see U.S. fighter jets returning after their mission. Fowler happily waves at them, but 2 fighters suddenly turn around and, mistaking the infantry soldiers for the Iraqis, begin shelling their own troops. Several soldiers get wounded.
Thought we were Iraqis?
Keep moving.
The 2nd Platoon reaches the cluster of crashed and burnt cars destroyed by that very U.S. fighter jets. They walk among blasted and burnt vehicles with smoking corpses scattered about, and realize that there are a lot of civilians among them.
We're trying to get away.
One of the soldiers finds corpse of a little girl. It is here that they arrange a halt. Swafford leaves his platoon, approaches the charred corpses, and realizes the true meaning of what is happening. He vomits at what he sees. He is deeply shocked. The Iraqis set the oil wells on fire, causing an oil rain. Sykes gives an order to dig in, but a change in wind soon causes them to relocate. Digging their sleeping holes, soldiers spot Fowler, who's digging something in the distance.
Fowler! What are you digging over there?
Nothing.
Our orders are to dig over here.
A few men approach him and see how this jerk is playing with a corpse.
Check out what I put in his mouth.
Troy and Swafford take the corpse away. Sykes strikes up a frank conversation with Swafford. He informs the soldier that he'll make Fowler to clean toilets when they return to the U.S. Seeing that Swafford is depressed, he shares that his brother has a drywall business. He offered Sykes a partnership in his business with a decent income. Sykes could choose to live a happy life, spending every night with his wife.
Take my kids to school every morning.
But he loves his job and wouldn't trade it for anything.
I mean, who else gets a chance to see shit like this?
The next morning, Sykes says Troy and Swafford that Colonel Kaczynski asked for the two best snipers, and Sykes recommended him Troy and Swafford. The guys immediately perk up.
Thank you, Staff Sergeant. What? Thank you.
Don't thank me, just don't f***ing die.
They are given the task of eliminating two high-ranked Iraqi officers in the control tower nearby. He reminds them to ask for confirmation before firing the shot. The two of them set on their mission. Swafford and Troy are hiding in an abandoned building with an excellent view of the control tower. They wait a long time for the targets to appear. In the evening, the two officers finally turn up. The weapon is set. Troy calls the headquarters and requests permission to take the shot. Having received the go-ahead, he starts the countdown. However, when Swafford is ready to pull the trigger, Major Lincoln storms in and interrupts them, saying there will now be an airstrike.
You have permission to take the shot.
Tough break. You were just gonna shoot one guy. Watch this. It'll blow your f***ing mind.
Troy begs the Major to let them take the shot because there will be no difference anyway. The Major refuses and Troy breaks down.
That is my kill! That is my kill!
These state boys are some weird motherfuckers.
They see how the Air Force doing their job again. Later in the evening, Swafford and Troy discuss their plans to return to civilian life. Troy says he'll be a drug dealer. Checking the time, they realize that the pickup didn't come for them and that something went wrong. The two friends go to camp on foot. Suddenly, they hear a noise from a distance. Hoping that it is the Iraqis, they are preparing to fire. Climbing a hill, they see that it is the U.S. military celebrating their victory around the fire.
Have a little party, you little overdressed.
Everyone is happy that the war is over, but Swafford says in frustration he never shot his rifle.
You do it now.
Swafford fires a shot into the air, and everyone indiscriminately begins to follow his example. A few days later, the United States is celebrating the return of their troops home. At this moment, a Vietnam War veteran jumps into the platoon's bus and congratulates everyone on the victory, expressing his gratitude for the great job. The soldiers immediately get droopy, realizing that the praise addressed to them was undeserved. Swafford goes to see Christina. He sees Carl on the doorstep and realizes that he is too late. Next, we get to see the civilian life of his friends. Jerk Fowler is having fun in a bar. Kruger is making a marketing presentation. Cortez is in the park with his wife and 3 kids. Escobar is laying out products at the supermarket, but Electro is back on the battlefield. A few days later, O'Donnell visits Swafford and says that he has sad news. Troy has passed away. The whole platoon attends his funeral. The movie ends with the phrase that no matter what a man does after serving in the Marine Corps, builds a house, loves a woman, or changes his son's diaper,
He will always remain a jarhead.
Well guys, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed the video, and if so, please give it thumbs up. It really motivates me to do more recaps for you. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss new episodes. I'll see you soon.